Men pride themselves on taking the long view. We always consider the ongoing ramifications of our actions, like wearing a suit and tie. As soon as you do it once, everybody expects you to make it a habit. Same thing goes with getting out of bed early or eating bean sprouts or being polite to relatives. We're very careful about making any changes that are ultimately not in our best interest. It's not smart or correct, but it's one of the things that makes us what we are. In today's show, Bill is going to humiliate everybody from Scotland. I, on the other hand, am going to take some old junk and make a heart-lung machine. Glenn Braxton is going to use me as a tractor. And Harold and I are going to try and have some quiet time, but he keeps talking.
And now, here he is, the hot pizza pie of television. The man who delivers in 30 minutes, and it's free. My uncle, Red Green!
Thank you. And here's the reason it's free. The guy they call Hold the Anchovies, my nephew Harold. And now here's something that isn't free. The vacant lot next door is up for sale again. $30,000. Of course, the yammering all starts up about whether or not we should buy it.
Oh, why do we want to buy that eyesore? It's just a bunch of junky cars, old fridges, bald tires, empty barrels. What a dump.
Oh, that's a recycling center there, Harold. We need to get access to all those old refrigerator compressors and rusted-out drivetrains to work on our special projects.
Well, what gives you the right to, trespass on someone else's property and steal all their abandoned junk?
We're the ones who abandoned it there, Harold. That's kind of like our storage locker. If we don't have the stuff there, it's going to be in your bedroom.
I think buying a lot's a great idea.
Yeah.
But where are you going to get $30,000?
I'm not worried about the $30,000, Harold. It's the $2,000 down.
It is physically impossible to drink a 5-gallon pail full of water while lying down.
Oh, me and the wife were getting a divorce. It wasn't adultery that set us off course, but keeping it together was too much of a strain. When we tried to put up a new tent in the rain. So she finally ran off with the cooler, and I yelled and I cried. For the rest of our possessions, we'll just have to let the courts decide. We'll have no problem reaching a settlement, and we're sure not gonna fight over who gets to keep the GD tent. Okay, it's Thursday night, and that means meatloaf and mashed potatoes. You go through the back door and your nose goes on red alert. 2 words flash through your mind. New recipe. When you see it lying there on your plate, you just know you're not going to like it.
Too many vegetables, too much rice, and a quick visual scan reveals very little evidence of a meat-like product.
So what do? She's going to tell you that's healthy eating, and then she's going to ask the big one. Do you like it?
Now, chances are rice is a key ingredient in this new recipe. Now, this is to your advantage. Tell her about your dark past. Tell her that eating rice brings back bad memories of Vietnam. Post-traumatic shock.
Or do what I do. Get up from the table and bolt into the bathroom, stay there for 2 hours, tell your wife you're not feeling good, and go straight to bed.
Yeah, it's early. Yes, you're hungry, but you won't have to eat anything foreign.
Then next Thursday, make sure you get home early.
Make sure you're in the kitchen.
You make the meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
And with any luck, it'll be a disaster of such biblical proportions, she'll spend 2 hours in the bathroom not feeling well and going to bed early.
And then next Thursday, she'll go back to making meatloaf and mashed potatoes the same old way, just to show you up. You know, with this lot being up for sale next door, I thought I'd use Handyman Corner to prove a point about the value of having an available parts supply for our various projects. For example, this might just look like a pile of useless crap to say your girlfriend or your wife or your mother, but the rest of us know that this is a tremendous source of raw material for anything we wanted to make. There might be a car in here that's never been built before, or maybe some kind of a customized hovercraft, or, hey, let's build something useful. How about a heart lung machine? Huh? The perfect Father's Day gift that keeps on giving. All right, now what you're going to need for that, you got to go through the pile and pick out anything that you could use to suck, pump, compress, or blow. All right, first thing you want to do is lie your patient down inside the freezer. Get his pulse down to around 0, but not too close, so there's no point in going any farther. All right, now you want to take one of these windshield washer units, which becomes the input to take the blood out of the victim, out of the patient, sorry. What you want to do is you want to hook this into whichever one of his orifices gives you the snuggest fit. And then out of the windshield washer pump, you go into your carburetor. All right, and this is where the blood gets mixed with oxygen. Now, if it's a fat guy, you might want to go with a 4-barrel, maybe put a supercharger on there. Another great thing about the carburetor unit is it's an ideal place where you can add medicine directly into the bloodstream, be it cortisone or maybe a medicinal alcohol like vermouth. And then out of the carburetor, you want to go directly into your water pump. And then out of the water pump, you blast the blood back out of one of these rad hoses back into the patient. It might be hard finding an orifice that side, especially if he's cold. But anyway, you get all that stuff in there. That takes care of that. Now you want to deal with the lung part of the heart-lung machine. Okay, for that, you want to take a funnel like this, duct tape that right all over the patient's face, maybe put some putty in there and make it a real good seal. And then you hook the other end of the garden hose up to one of the taps on the sink, and then that runs into the nozzle, and now you've replaced the nozzle with well, let's call it a balloon. That's hooked up to another hose, which runs down into a compressor. We haven't hooked that up yet. And what happens is when the compressor starts up, you see, puts air into the balloon, and then that releases back into your patient. Yeah. So, I'll put that all in there. Take the hose out. Hook her up into our compressor. And, as you can see, the whole unit is all driven by a gas lawnmower, so you don't have to worry about electricity cutting out in the middle of open heart surgery, which I would call a setback. Okay, so another thing, you might want to do all your operations outside, because I'll tell you, the gas fumes in one of them small operating theaters. So there, you're all set to go. All you got to do now is wait for the surgeon to say, okay, we're ready for the life support thing to start. But before I do that, I just want to remind you, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. All right, getting to work now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin life support. Hey, there we go. Now choke. Yeah. Hang on. Wish this out of gas. No. Stay tuned as the Possum Lodge Highland games come flashing across the screen, and Harold fishes for the meaning of life with no bait. I wanted to talk to you young folks there in the Generation X, or Y, or whatever it is, anyway. I hear a lot of whining about the fact that you're not baby boomers and maybe you missed out on the 60s, but I think you should hear the real story from someone who was there. The 60s was not all peace and love and understanding, believe me. Yeah, there were some kids who practiced free love, and they went to the free clinic. And some of them tried new stuff, and they had their stomachs pumped. And it's true, the 60s did inspire some real great protest songs. But we also had the Partridge Family and the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. And the women's movement, for the first time, started to get a fair shake on that, but they also got their own cigarette, baby. And yeah, I know, we had 250,000 people show up at Woodstock, but a lot more than that went overseas to fight. So the next time somebody tries to put down your generation and makes you feel bad about missing out on the 60s, just hum back a few bars of yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy. Well, the deed is done. The vacant lot next door is sold.
Good for you. Congratulations.
We didn't buy it, Harold.
I know. Good for you. Congratulations.
Not everybody feels that way. Moose Thompson and Stinky Peterson are screaming at me for not buying the lot when we had the chance. I told them we didn't buy it because nobody else wanted it. Men only buy things that other men want.
This is so exciting. We're going to have new neighbors. Are there any other teenagers? You know, are there any non-males, you know? You know, like, babes?
No idea, Harold. The guy at the land deed office said it was bought by a numbered company. That scares me a little. Because when a numbered company buys a property, it usually means it's land developers or Baptists.
Well, you know what we should do? We should act like the welcome wagon. You know, we'll take them over a gift and we'll welcome them to Possum Lake.
Yeah, all right. There's a bean casserole down in the boathouse fridge. That'd be perfect.
That's not a bean casserole. That's a pail of fish bait.
Well, if they're real fishermen, they'll know that, and if they're not, they shouldn't be here.
What you were watching could have value someday. Could be a while.
We're losing them. Well, as most of you know, we're at Braxton's Marina with the owner, Glenn Braxton. He's got this week's boating tip for us.
I'll tell you what, folks, you got to take care of your health. You know, once that ship sails, she doesn't come back. I found that out after 2 heart attacks.
Is that your boating tip, Glenn?
No, well, that's a little life lesson, Red.
All right.
Yeah, today's boating tip will be how to properly move a boat on a trailer. That's what we're going to be doing.
All right.
So, Red, maybe you could swing your leg over the tongue there.
Well, don't you have a machine to do this? Don't you have like a truck or a tractor? Or what about your car?
Nope, all got repoed.
Oh.
Yeah, everything. You know that new guy that lives next door to you?
Yeah.
He's got a lot of nice stuff.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He's got a backhoe, a bobcat, a brush hog, front end loader. He's got it all.
Wow.
You should make friends with that guy.
Yeah, I might.
Well, there's another little life lesson, Red. Make friends with people that can do something for you. There you go. Okay, Red, old buddy. You want to lean down there and grab that thing? Now, be careful. Just use your legs, okay? Because you don't want to getting a bad back like I got.
Well, I don't want a bad back, but I wouldn't mind one like you got. All right.
Look her up there.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Now, just walk ahead slowly, Red. See, Red,
Well,
you got to pay attention. You forgot to move the rock here. It's not going to go anywhere with the rock there.
oh.
Here, let me get it for you.
All right.
I was wondering if you're going to notice, but you didn't.
Thanks for doing that. Hope it's not too much trouble.
Oh, sorry, Harold.
You're all right. Get up.
Okay, Red, let's go.
All righty.
Just stick over by the shed there. Will you, Red? I got a guy coming to rent it a little while later.
So why don't we put it in the water then?
I just took it out of the water, Red. Oh, yeah, I can clip the guy for another $100 or so by launching his boat.
Oh,
You got to be thinking in this business, Red.
I guess that's why you're doing so well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Use your brain, save your muscle.
Yeah.
You know, Red, there's a lot of guys that would have done this by themselves.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, yeah. Much easier with the two of us.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
Uncle Red, how come older men, some of them, you know, they like leave their wives and start going out with younger girls?
Because they can.
What?
No, I'm kidding, I guess. But you know, it works both ways, Harold. I hear a lot of older women are leaving their husbands and going off with younger men. Maybe there's hope for you.
Yeah. Unless they get too old to qualify.
Oh, Harold, with your personality, you won't be allowed to get old.
You know, I read an article about these younger-older relationships. It was called May-December Romance. What do they mean by that, Uncle Red?
Well, Harold, a lot of times when a couple's married a long time, they only, let's say, get intimate twice a year. Once at Christmas and once in the spring when they open up the cottage.
Are you a May-December kind of person?
Well, that's a little personal, I think, Harold. But I can answer you, I think, discreetly with 2 words. Long weekends.
Woo! All right. Long weekend. What does that mean?
Time for the Possum Lodge Highland Games on this week's Adventures with Bill. Oh, boy. Wow. I guess this would be the opening ceremonies. Some guys wear their heart in their sleeve, but not Bill. All right, this is my opening ceremonies. Oh. All right, Bill. Please, showing you here, if most of you don't know, the Highland Games, of course, come from Scotland. This is a little event they have called tossing the caber. Not to be confused with tossing the cookies, which we do a lot of at the lodge. And Bill, this is very much what Bill. No. So I put the bungee cord, one of the other secret weapons at the lodge, around there. Now that'll help. I think that'll help a lot. That should keep it right. Now you gotta let go. There we go. Oh. No. Drop that down, Bill. There's a train coming. Attaboy. All right, I thought this time if I can help him balance it, maybe give him a little push, I'll get him going in the right direction. There, that looks better. Oh, the sign. Oh. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. Maybe if he had pants on. Where'd that go? Got an end over end. Bill, I think it's behind you, Bill. Yeah. That's going well. You see why Scotland doesn't rule the world. That's a little horizontal, Bill. Oh. Well, now you realize that you don't have to be Scottish to do this. You just got to be angry. I'll take it out there, and I think about where I'd like to toss the keeper, but instead of that, I throw her up into the air. Let her go, Red. Oh, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. It's over here, Bill. Oh, boy. And, of course, for the closing ceremonies, they have the traditional Highland dancing. Coming up, Dalton Humphrey's going to show us some valuable antiques, and you can learn about success from Mr. Success, Winston Rothschild. Well, this goof who bought the lot next door is definitely not one of the guys.
But you met him. You liked his backhoe and his bobcat and his bulldozer.
Harold, you can't judge a man by his equipment. He used all that stuff to clean up the lot.
The nerve.
Got all the trucks in there and hauled away all the rusted junk. Our entire parts department up and hauled away. I know there were 2 great snow tires in there. I'll tell you, when he towed away that 74 Torino with the Landau roof hanging down the side, wasn't a dry eye in the lodge. Then he hooked up a brush hog and used that to remove every piece of scrub. Yeah, sure, he's got a great view, but he's taken away everything worth looking at.
Well, Uncle Red, it's his property now. He can do what he wants with it.
But there are community standards, Harold. Is he going to build a nice house? Is he going to cut the grass every week? Is he going to landscape the property? And if so, how do we stop him? We're out here by the main highway at Humphrey's Everything Store to get another slant on these city people moving up to the country. And here's our resident antique specialist, Dalton Humphreys.
I'm a lifestyle recycler.
All right, what do you think of these urban refugees moving up here, Dalton?
I say God bless them, because, Red, the first thing they do after they put in their satellite dish is fill their country homes with rusty plates, broken chairs, and old phones that don't work.
Antiques?
Bingo.
Yeah, I got these antique magazines here.
Well, no, those are a good investment, Red.
Really?
But they're full of antiques.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, antiques are never old news. Now, you get a news magazine, it's not worth anything a week later.
Good point.
Sure.
Look what they got for sale here.
Uh-huh.
Partially restored carriage house, circa 1840.
No, you have to watch the language in those ads, Red.
Oh.
Yeah, partially restored, that means it's an unsalvageable money pit and the owner's bailing out. Circa 1840, well, see, that was pre-building code. You're not going to find a lot of great plumbing and electrical work back then.
I guess that's why this guy who bought next to Possum Lodge is building his own house.
Yep. And in the process, raising values of property all over the area. Even Possum Lodge.
What's that going to do to our taxes?
Oh, nothing good. No. That's why I recommend anyone coming from the city just buy themselves one of those big, long trailers and just park it somewhere.
Yeah, and then fill it full of expensive antiques.
Oh, amen to that.
Welcome. And today on the expert portion of the show, we're being joined by Mr. Winston Rothschild. Alrighty, we got a letter, and it goes as follows. It's from a person. Dear experts, I have a law practice in Toronto, and my daughter is also a lawyer. I have always encouraged her to strive to be the best, but she is now doing better than I am, and I'm having trouble dealing with that. Is there anything I can do?
Oh, I've waited my whole life to give advice to lawyers, but I can't. This one's got me stumped. How about you, Winston?
Well, I don't know. Let's take it from the daughter's side of the point of view, the perspective of the thing, eh? I mean, this to me sounds like a classic case of your pot calling the kettle back.
So what you're saying is that maybe she's not trying to surpass him. Maybe he's just like, a lousy lawyer. Oh, like that district attorney on the Perry Mason show? That guy never won a case, ever, never. Well, at least not ones they televised. He must have won some that they didn't show because he was on that program for like 12 seasons, so.
Hamburger.
No, it's true.
No. That was his name. Hamilton Burger.
That guy reminded me a lot of my old man, eh? Oh, yeah, because my dad was always winning, and I was always hamburger, eh? I'll never forget, you know, he used to say things to me like, "Hey, Winston, you're useless."
I'm sure he was probably kidding, you know.
Yeah, it's just like when Uncle Red calls me doughhead.
No, it's not like that.
Actually, you know something? It was good for me. Sure, it helped pull myself up by the bootlickers. Oh, yeah. I mean, do I sit or do I get off the pot, eh? And now look at me, eh? I got the #1 septic sewage sucking business in the whole county. I am sitting pretty.
Okay. What we learned today, then, is that it's what you think of yourself that is important, and not to let your self-worth be dictated to you by your father or your daughter.
Or your nephew.
Or your uncle.
Worms, by me. Spring has hit the city, there's leaves on every tree, and worms festoon the sidewalks as far as the eye can see. Trampled under boots and heels, they're flatter than Bobby V. At the lodge, the worms are luckier. They get to go fishing with me. I'll tell you, real estate is a complicated business. The guy next door just got finished improving the value of all our properties, and now he's put the lot up for sale. I'll tell you, he must be seeing something that none of us can see.
Yeah, Possum Lodge. But you got a clear view of what this place really looked like. You didn't want to live beside it.
Suits me fine. Nature takes care of its own, Harold.
No, but just think of it, Uncle Red. If we clean this place up, we can really increase its value.
Yeah, but it will do the same thing to the lot, Harold, and then the price will be too high for us to afford.
Well, so what? You're not going to buy it anyway.
Only because we don't have to. See, if we fix up the lodge, then the value of the lot next door goes up, then somebody's going to want to buy it, and we got to outbid them, which we can't afford to do, and we end up with new neighbors, which we don't want. This way, we don't have to do any work. We keep the property taxes real low. Nobody moves in next door. We get a free place to store all the burned-out equipment. Name me one thing wrong with that plan.
Well, it's ugly, it's an eyesore, it's an environmental hazard, and it's illegal.
I said one thing.
Okay, it smells.
Well, you get used to that. Real men do.
I said it smells good. Well, cry on the possum, that's meeting time, isn't it? Well, I guess I'll just go be with the other men.
Somebody should warn them. If my wife is watching, I'll be a little bit late tonight because we're going to go over to the lot there, throw all our broken furniture and a few rusted out hot water tanks. We got a 75 Omni we're towing over, got no doors, no motor in it and everything. We got about 200 Army surplus metal bed frames. I'll tell you something, Bernice, we're getting our lives back here. And to the rest of you, thanks so much for watching. On behalf of myself and Harold and the whole gang up here at Possum Lodge, keep your stick on the ice.
Presentations for you tonight. Winston's got something so great. This is great. Don't go anywhere. Don't look yet, but you can look now. Okay, got it. Watch your head.